All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Today is January the 10th, 2025, and we are awaiting the sentencing. This is an unprecedented moment of Donald Trump. This is going to make history. This is a historic moment. This will be the first time a convicted felon is going to become the president of the United States. As 10 days prior to the inauguration of Donald Trump, we are now going to be seeing him sentenced. This is happening live right now. And we're hearing that this is going to be underway. Now, he's going to be appearing virtually for this sentencing, and we are awaiting the verdict, and we're going to be seeing what happens here. This is unfolding at this very time. What you're watching is live. This is a feed coming in from Fox News right now. Trump is facing sentencing in the New York hush money case. Watch now. Unprecedented moment. Trump sentenced in New York in this criminal case. Trump's New York sentencing 10 days before inauguration. Trump sentencing in the hush money scandal. Full coverage coming in right now. So you are taking a look at this live, and we're just going to be awaiting to see what unfolds here. I've got this on the live feed so you can see it. Now, while we're waiting to get any information as it comes in, all of the feeds right now are on this live, and it's just basically this hallway of the courtroom. But let me go ahead and share with you guys some information while we are waiting to see what comes out here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this really quickly. I've got something pulled up here. Let's see what it says. What time will Trump be sentenced Friday in the hush money case today? Trump faces sentencing Friday for his New York hush money conviction after the nation's highest court refused to intervene. President-elect Donald Trump faces sentencing Friday for the New York hush money conviction after the nation's highest court refused to intervene. The sentencing is scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is currently 9:17 Central Standard Time, so it should have started about an hour ago. Maybe we're experiencing delays. Maybe it's still likely taking place. That's why we're seeing the courtroom awaiting for the results. And it says in New York's criminal court, with Trump attending remotely. Here's what is happening Friday. Assistant Director Attorney Joshua Steinglass brings speaking on behalf of the prosecution. It says he notes the conviction and reviews the sentencing options include up to 4 years in prison, but other remedies as well. Steinglass says the prosecution recommends unconditional discharge based on circumstances including Trump's impending return to the White House. Steinglass says prosecutors are okay with the potential no penalty sentence. He cites all the circumstances of this case, its unique posture, and the defendant's statute as president-elect. The verdict in this case was unanimous and decisive, and it must be respected, he said. As prosecutors began their remarks, Trump shook his head, eyes darting around the screen. The camera view is framed tightly on him and Blanche, offering courtroom spectators a much closer view of Trump's expression than during the trial. Trump attorney Emil Bov says Trump is appearing via Teams. He's co-located with my partner, Todd Blanche, he said. Trump is in Florida, Blanche confirmed. Trump appears in the court via video feed. He's wearing a red tie with white and gold thin diagonal stripes. Trump appears stoic and reserved as he waits. An attorney sits to Trump's right in front of the backdrop of the American flag pins on both men's suit jackets. Outside of the courthouse ahead of the sentencing, a handful of protesters had gathered in front of the Manhattan Federal Court Friday morning. Some carried signs reading, "Deserves the maximum sentence," and 34 felony convictions. Meanwhile, at a park across the street, supporters unfurled a massive flag reading, "Trump won." Why did Judge Merchant decide to go ahead with Trump's sentencing? In an 18-page legal option, Merchant laid out his reasoning for ruling that the president-elect should be sentenced later this month for the criminal falsifying business records. His most important finding was that Trump's conviction should not be thrown out simply because he was the elected president. But the judge also signaled that he intended to impose a sentence of unconditional discharge, which means that Trump would not face any punishment beyond having the conviction on his legal record. The scene inside of the courtroom before sentencing: 4 big TV screens are mounted on the walls, one on either side of the bench where the judge will sit, and one each hanging from left to right side, parallel with the tables where the defense and the prosecution will sit. Another large monitor sits behind next to the defense table, visible to the judge's bench. A crew from ABC News, which will be distributing an audio recording of the proceedings after it ends, was testing the microphone system. At one point, instead of the usual counting up and down to check levels, one member of the crew started reciting the first few words of the Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events, drawing chuckles from the crowd of reporters and spectators in the gallery. Trump is expected to appear by video, and he has before. Although Trump was in court for every day of the trial, the judge said the president-elect could attend the sentencing via video if he chose. He's expected to do that, and it's not a first in the case. He appeared remotely for a pre-trial hearing in May of 2023. Inside the courtroom, the moment Trump was convicted, May 30th, 2024, Trump became the first former American president to be convicted of a felony crime. Trump sat stone-faced while the verdict was read, as cheering from the streets below could be heard in the hallway on the courthouse's 15th floor, where the decision was revealed after more than 9 hours of deliberation. Who testified, and what did they say? Trump's trial stretched over 7 weeks, with 22 witnesses testifying, including the actor Stormy Daniels, Trump's fixer-turned-foe Michael Cohen, former supermarket tabloid publisher David Pecker, and White House insider. Prosecutors called 20 witnesses. The defense called just 2. Trump decided not to testify on his own behalf. Here's a look back at what are some of the key witnesses and what they had to say. Now, before we take a look at that, I want to jump back over to the live feed and see if we've got any updates. Let me switch it over here. So as you can see, I'm watching the live feeds. This has been just the view for the past hour and a half. And there have been no updates as of yet, but a lot of people anticipating we will be getting something here soon, as this has been taking place now for roughly about an hour. All right, let's jump back over to the article while we are waiting. Now, reading on, it says, remind me again, what was this case about? Trump was convicted last May of 34 counts of falsifying business records, making him the first former American president to be convicted of a felony crime. So what we are witnessing is historic. The jury found that he falsified records kept by his company to hide the purpose of reimbursements to his then lawyer Michael Cohen, who had made a $130,000 payment to an actor, Stormy Daniels, during the Trump's 2016 campaign to silence her claim of an extramarital encounter. Trump denies that he did this. Now, what happened to Trump's other cases? It says the hush money case was the only one of Trump's 4 criminal indictments to go to trial. Since his November 5th election, special counsel Jack Smith ended his 2 federal cases. One pertained to Trump's efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss. The other alleged that he hoarded classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. A separate state-level election interference case in Georgia is in limbo after an appeals court removed prosecutor Fani Willis from the case. Is the sentencing streaming anywhere? No. New York State trial-level courts rarely, if ever, live stream their proceedings. Appeals courts sometimes do. A look at the judge who is sentencing Trump. Judge Juan M. Merchant has presided over Manhattan felony cases since 2009, after 3 years in family court. Before that, he was a Manhattan prosecutor and a lawyer for the New York State. Trump has pointed to factors including merchants' total of $35 in 2020, donations to Democrats, including President Joe Biden, to argue that the judge is biased and should step away from the case. A state court ethics panel opined in 2023 that Merchant could continue handling the case, and he avowed that he could be fair and impartial. So there you have it, you guys. So let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that this is stacked against Donald Trump, that this is unfair? If you think this is unfair, put a 1 in the comments. If you think, no, this is fair, put a 2. Now, also, we're going to be seeing the results of this. We've heard, there potentially could be prison time sentence. They're saying up to 4 years. Yet at the same time, we are hearing that they likely aren't going to be doing that. But there are feeds coming in on all of this right now. And this is outside of the courtroom. We're watching live, waiting to see what is going to be the verdict here of this case. And as I mentioned, this is historic right now. This will be the first time ever we've seen a convicted felon that will become the president of the United States. And this is happening just 10 days before he is about to enter office. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, as Donald Trump now becomes the president of the United States. They decide that they are going to convict him of felony charges, and this happening just 10 days prior to him becoming the president. Up to 4 years in prison is a possibility, they said, but very, very unlikely. Very unlikely that they're going to do that, as they said that he also should receive some form of exemption due to the fact that he is the president-elect, that he is going to become the president of the United States. Let me know your thoughts. I see Sativa saying it's unfair. Let him go. Feckle is saying that the Associated Press is currently reporting on the sentencing. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up for you guys, so that way we can see if there are any updates, because right now we just have the exterior of the building. It says, I see the Washington Post 32 minutes ago saying Trump's sentencing currently is underway. I'll move this over so that way people can see it here. Here we go. Trump set for sentencing in the New York felony conviction. That was 1 hour ago, so we believe it is currently underway. 14 minutes ago, Trump sentenced in the hush money case. Let's see, this one from CNN Politics. Trump gets no jail time, no penalties in the sentence for the hush money conviction. All right, so it looks like this might be the official verdict here. Let's see if we can get some more information from this while we're watching the live feeds from the courtroom. It says, what you need to know. Trump sentenced. President Trump has been sentenced to unconditional discharge for his conviction last year on 34 charges of business fraud related to the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Okay, and I think that that's similar to what I read in the previous article. However, when I was reading it, I was thinking that that was speculation, not actually official, but it looks like it is now. What this means, unconditional discharge means that Trump will not be imprisoned, fined, or face probation, but his conviction still stands, and he will enter office as a convicted felon. Prosecutors had recommended the sentence, saying in court Friday, we must be respectful of the office of the presidency and Trump's pending inauguration. Okay, so I apologize. Earlier I was reading this and I thought this is what was someone's opinion, but no, it was actually the verdict had actually already had come out. This is what is unfolding here. How we got there, the president-elect successfully used the courts to delay the hearing, which was originally set for July, and urged the U.S. Supreme Court to pause his sentencing in the case. A highly unusual request that relies in part on the court's decision last year to grant him broad immunity from criminal prosecution. On Thursday, the High Court rejected Trump's emergency request to delay sentencing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this live feed here from CNN. It says 8 minutes ago, Trump sentenced to unconditional release, meaning he'll face no jail time or penalties. Judge Juan Merchant has sentenced Donald Trump to unconditional discharge. The sentencing, which was expected, means Trump will remain a felon but faces no jail time, penalties, or probations for his conviction in the hush money case, Trump did not react as Merchant concluded his hearings. So there you have it, you guys. It is completed. Donald Trump coming out with no prosecution, or excuse me, no jail time, no penalties, no probation. He is now a convicted felon, they said, but nothing will take place. He is being released on unconditional discharge. Wow, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you are glad to see that Donald Trump is not going to be facing any punishment for this, as a lot of people put that they felt that this was very fair against him, put a like in the comments, or excuse me, hit the like button, put a 47 in the comments. I need to drink some coffee here. I apologize for that. If you are glad to hear that Donald Trump receiving no jail time, no penalties, no probation for his conviction on the hush money case, and that he is going to be now, he is sentenced to unconditional discharge. If you like that, hit that like button and drop a 47 in the comments while I drink some coffee here. So there you have it, you guys. This is an unprecedented moment. Donald Trump becoming the first convicted felon to become a president of the United States. Sorry. Oh, man. And take a look at this. 16 minutes ago. Okay, we've got some actual pictures and footage here that I can share with you. Let's take a look at this live feed. Let's scroll down here. There we go. 16 minutes ago. Power of the presidency are not able to erase a jury verdict, Merchant says. And here you can see the courtroom. You can see President Donald Trump here on the screen. Attorney Emil Bov left listens to Attorney Todd Blanche, and President-elect Donald Trump, seen on the television screen, appears virtually for sentencing at the Manhattan Criminal Court on January 10th of 2025 in New York City. Judge Juan Merchant says that he need not repeat the aggravating factors that he has already articulated in his recent orders. However, the considerable, indeed extraordinary legal protections afforded the office of the chief executive is a factor that overrides all others, he said. They do not reduce the seriousness of the crime or justify its commission in any way, Merchant says of the legal prosecution of the office of the presidency. One power they do not provide is the power to erase a jury verdict, Merchant says. Ordinary citizens do not receive those legal protections. It is the office of the president that bestows those to the office holder. It is the citizenry of the nation that recently decided that you should once again receive the benefits of those protections, he said. 23 minutes ago, Merchant notes it's the office of the presidency that is extraordinary, not the occupant of the office. Now, Judge Juan Merchant is speaking to Donald Trump and is noting that it's the office of the presidency that is extraordinary, not the occupant of the office. It is the legal protections afforded to the office of the President of the United States that are extraordinary, not the occupant of the office, he said. Merchant says that once the courtroom doors closed, the trial was not different from any other in the courthouse. 26 minutes ago, this court has never seen such a unique and remarkable set of circumstances, Judge says. Judge Juan Merchant says never before has this court been presented with such a unique and remarkable set of circumstances. This has been a truly extraordinary case, he said. 31 minutes ago, Trump leans forward as Merchant speaks. As Judge Juan Merchant speaks, President-elect Donald Trump is leaning forward. Trump is alternating between looking ahead at Merchant and looking down and away from the screen. 31 minutes ago, Judge, a sentence is one of the most difficult and significant decisions a judge can make. President-elect Donald Trump just finished speaking in court. Thank you, Mr. Trump, Judge Juan Merchant says. The imposition of sentence is one of the most difficult and significant decisions that any criminal court judge is called upon to make, Merchant added. Merchant says he believed that Trump needed to hear his reasoning for his sentencing, though he indicated his inclinations ahead of time. So there you have it, you guys. The live feed's coming out, and it turns out here's a picture once again of the courtroom of what has unfolded here. And we're hearing that Donald Trump is going to be the first convicted felon ever to become the president of the United States. But as they mention, he is going to be sentenced to unconditional discharge. Here you have it right here. Trump sentence. President Donald Trump has been sentenced to unconditional discharge for his conviction last year of 34 charges of business fraud related to hush money payments to Stormy Daniels during a 2016 presidential campaign. What this means, unconditional discharge means that Trump will not be imprisoned, fined, or face probation, but his conviction still stands and he will enter office as a convicted felon. Prosecutors had recommended the sentence, saying in court Friday, "We must be respectful of the office of the presidency." Oh, the live feed. Here we go.
Okay, cameras down, step out, please. Cameras down, step out.
Waiting to see if there were any updates from the live feed. No? Okay, I guess not. All right, we can go ahead and switch back over here, but it just says, finishing up what I was reading here, "We must be respectful of the office of the presidency and Trump's pending inauguration." So there you have it, you guys. Donald Trump. It says here that he is going to be sentenced to unconditional discharge, that he will not face any probation, any imprisonment, and the conviction still stands though, but he will not be imprisoned, fined, or face probation. There you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A historic moment. And if you are glad to see this result, like I said, drop a 47 in the comments for your support for Donald Trump, and hit the like button if you appreciate the updates. Just helps spread this out further so more people can get the latest information. And as more comes out, I'll be sure to share with you here on the channel, but it looks like Donald Trump, he has come out victorious in this case. They're saying he's a convicted felon, but there are essentially no penalties for that charge that has been placed against him. He will receive, as I mentioned, no imprisonment, no fines, no probation. Donald Trump essentially coming out on top in this case that was placed against him. So there you have it, you guys. That is the latest. I will keep you up to speed on everything. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.